Allah instructs you concerning your children for the male what is equal to the share of 2 females.
Right. So what do you understand
But
from this?
if there are only daughters, 2 or more, for them is 2/3 of one's estate. Okay?
What do you understand
So the
from
Quran is so far saying that kind of 2/3 of the man's estate is to go to his daughters. And
in what case? In what case?
Okay.
I'm asking a question by
the Quran goes on to say.
In what case?
And if there is only
and there is no son. Right. What if there are sons in the 3 daughters? Then what?
We're not talking about this case.
But the
Quran goes on. And if there is only one, for her is half. And for one's parents, to each of them is 1/6 of his estate if he left children. Okay, so far we have given away 2/3 of the estate to the daughters. And now 1/6 of the estate to the mother and 1/6 of the estate to the father. We have now given away 2/3 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 equals 1. All of the estate has now been given away. But the Quran continues. It goes on to say in verse 12 of Surah 4, and for you is half of what your wives leave if they have no child. But if they have a child, for you is 1/4 of what they leave. But if you leave a child, then for them is 1/8 of what you leave. So, the Quran is also telling you to give away 1/8 of your estate to the wife. So, let us add it all up. You give away 2/3 to the daughters, 1/6 to the mother, 1/6 to the father, and 1/8 to the wife. How much does that add up to?
It's crazy.
9 eighths. 1 and 1/8. 112.5%. And you cannot give away more than 100% of the estate, can you? You can't give away more than 100% of anything. It is exactly the same as if, it is exactly as impossible as if I said to you, give half of your pizza to your son, half of your pizza to your daughter, and half of your pizza to your cousin. If I said that to someone, you would tell me that's impossible.
Let him carry on.
You've made a mistake. Because there is a mistake here. You can't give away more than 100%.
Do you know how the denominator?
And yet, the Quran is telling you to do exactly that.
I'll ask you a question.
And the reason is
do
because
you know how the
Quran is not
work
written
in these
by a
verses?
hyper-intelligent God. It is written.
Yeah, sounds like he doesn't want the answer.
It is written
He doesn't
by
want to know.
a
He's made his
man
mind
who
up.
lives in the 7th century
become a scholar
who
of Islam
cannot
and the Quran
do
overnight,
fractions.
and he wants to teach
So,
the world.
Adnan, I'm giving
Can
you
I ask
another
you a question?
chance. No, I'm giving you another
Do you know
chance.
the denominators
Tell me
in these verses?
Exactly. Tell me. No,
Do you know the denominators in these verses?
I want you to tell me exactly how I am wrong.
Okay. Do you?
I'm giving Adnan a chance.
Give him more time.
Okay. These verses are clearly dealing with different situations, people with different number of children and a different number of inheritors, right? So Quran is giving different scenarios and how to work them out. The scholars of Islam have worked them out with different denominators, right? He clearly doesn't understand. Wait. No. Let me finish. Do you want the answer? Do you want the? Yeah. Okay. It's clear that you have a very superficial understanding of the Quran. Would you accept? Would you accept that? Would you accept that?
In this matter,
No, Quran is not common sense. No. You need to study. Is neuroscience common sense? Is neuroscience common sense? Is neuroscience
in this
common
matter,
sense?
what I am saying agrees with tafsir. I have read the tafsir for this
You
verse.
cannot. Quran
So
is a complex book that needs to be explained by scholars who know the Arabic language,
Tell us
and
what
they know the
is
context. They know what is in the Quran, and they know the history of these. Okay. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Buy something else.
Adnan is claiming.
Buy a coffee.
What I have
Buy a
said
coffee.
is
I'm
false.
fasting.
And so, if what I have said is false,
Okay.
then I ask you, Adnan, what is meant? How are you meant to divide the inheritance of a man who has 2 daughters, a mother, a father, and a wife? How are you meant to divide his inheritance?
You really want to know?
I want to know the exact answer to that question.
I will. If I give you an answer.
The exact answer.
Okay. this needs calculations. Did you know
Yes.
that? It needs mathematics. And I'm not, I don't have a calculator fitted in my head. Okay? No. Principles, you have to understand. You know, inheritance. Okay, can you answer me?
If there are 5 sons, 2 daughters, and 3 wives, and I said,
Hello.
and he said, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, so
I didn't do blah, 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 blah.
okay,
I didn't do that. I didn't do that. That's your version of my words. Just like the Quran, he's doing blah, 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 blah.
Tell us what is
The
meant to
Quran is doing blah, 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 blah.
Tell us what is
Okay,
meant to happen
wait.
in this situation.
Okay, let me explain.
Tell us what is meant to
Let me
happen in this
explain.
situation.
I'm going to ask you a question now. If your father owns 5...
No.
No. I'm asking. I'm gonna show you how stupid you are.
Tell me what the shares are meant to be in this situation.
Okay, I'm answering your question.
No, tell me
I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question.
This is a question.
I'm answering-
This is a question that can be answered with just a figure.
Can I answer your question?
Tell me the exact answer.
Will you let me exact answer? Is the what's your name? Yes or no? What's your name? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? What's your name? What's your name? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? What's your name? Yes or no? You see how it feels? You see how it feels? You're being stupid. You're being stupid. Be civilized. Be an English gentleman. Right?
Okay.
And let me talk to you.
Okay, but
I'm not
please
English, but I can be a
give us the
gentleman.
shares.
Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. Follow English manners. Follow English manners. Right? Okay? Don't try to imitate Trump. Because you're not as good as him. Trust me. Okay? Now the question is, if your father owns a property worth...
No, that's not the question. That's not.
He answered you, man.
I have asked
He answered.
Adnan.
Are you not embarrassed by him?
No, he's right. And you
He's right.
Because I am asking.
What? I haven't even said anything, and you think I'm babbling.
You're asking him a question in answer
Excuse
to
me.
his question.
Rob,
Give him
you were
example.
exposed. You were exposed a number of times.
The shares of
You
the
give an
inheritance
example to the picture.
for
I
a
need you to give him
man.
example.
I'm going to answer.
Daughters, parents, and the wife.
There's a reason why he doesn't want me to talk, because he knows the more I will talk, the more he will look stupid.
Give us the exact
Okay,
answer.
I am trying to give an exact answer. I'm asking your question.
Okay, he's going to divert. but I'm going to allow
I'm
it.
asking your question.
Everyone
Friend,
listen to how
please,
he
can you
diverts.
shut up and let him answer?
Can you be quiet for 1 minute?
I'll give you another chance.
Thank you for your chance. Thank you for saving my life. Thank you for saving my life.
I've been trying. I've
Okay.
been trying to get you.
Can
to
I
answer
ask
the
you?
question,
Can I ask you a
but I'm giving
question?
you another chance.
Let the man speak. Come on, hurry up, Adnan.
Are you interested in the truth of it, or you?
Can you be quiet for 1 minute?
Okay, he's quiet.
Rob, do you agree with these manners?
I'll give you £50 if you shut up.
Do you agree with these manners? Why do you guys lose your standard and your morality over a discussion? You can simply say he's wrong. You can simply, you know what he's doing.
Give him a minute.
Yeah, thank you. Now listen to Rob. Okay. Now, Jamie or James, I have a question. If your father owns 500, a property worth 550,000 and 550,883 pounds. Okay? Simple question. And your father left behind 2 daughters, 2 sons, and 2 parents. Right? Mother and father. Right? Yes? How would you distribute their wealth? How would you break it down? According to the English law. Yeah.
The father decides. He writes this in his will.
Okay. According to the Islamic law, as you understand it. Go on. How I want a quick answer. A quick answer. You claim to have an understanding of these verses, which I don't. I'm clearly ignorant. You're trying to teach us. You're trying to teach us now. Can you give me a breakdown of these verses according to your understanding? Whatever your understanding is, a man who owns a property of 550,883 pounds, he's got 2 daughters, 3 sons, and 2 parents. How would he distribute this wealth? How would you do it? Go on.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you going to interrupt me?
No.
Okay.
1 minute.
So according
1 minute.
according to the Quran, what it says, as I've gone through, is that 2/3 of the estate, which is equal to, 500,833, I think, pounds. 2/3 of that will go to the daughters, and each daughter will get an equal amount. Then you multiply the value of the estate by a sixth, and you give that to the father. You multiply the value of the estate by a sixth, and you give that to the mother. And you multiply the value of the estate by an eighth, and you give that to the wife. This, of course, doesn't work because the shares add up to more than 100%. As I've already explained, and so the Quran is in error here. You cannot follow the instructions in the Quran perfectly because the instructions in the Quran are, they don't work. They're mathematically flawed, and so in order to compensate for this, Muslim scholars have had to later fix it by coming up with Islamic jurisprudence which does something different to what it says in the Quran.
Okay. Are you finished?
Yeah.
So you didn't answer my question? No, you didn't. No, you did not. Because you still don't know how the Quranic inheritance works. You have no idea. You haven't studied it, okay? It is a complicated issue in the sense, there are decimals that work. The scholars of Islam have worked it out, okay? And it's, wait, again, look. How can we have a conversation? How can we have a conversation? Have you studied this subject in depth? Be honest.
In enough depth.
What is enough depth?
I've read
by reading 3 verses of the Quran?
And the tafsir.
Which tafsir?
Jalalain.
Jalalain is not depth. Jalalain is don't do that. Don't do that. Jalalain. If I did that to your sources, you're an atheist. If I said evolution, if I said to you evolution is false because we don't come from monkeys, would you laugh at me? Hold on. Would you laugh at me? If I said evolution is false because we don't come from monkeys, would you laugh at me? No. Yes. I know. Would you laugh at me? If I said we don't come from monkeys, would you laugh at me? Would you laugh at me? Rob, answer my question. If I said evolution is false because we don't come from monkeys, would you laugh at me? Simple question. Rob, I'm asking a simple question. Thank you. And I'm laughing at him for the same reason. You would ask me what did you read on evolution? I would say I read on Wikipedia. You would laugh at me even more. Right. So do you have another error in the Quran? Do you have another error? We want to know. We want to know. We've addressed it. Do you have another error? No, we have addressed it. Okay, I have failed to address it. Do you have another error? I have failed to address it. I have failed to.
No, I do, but I want to ask you, so the Quran literally says, as I read it out, okay? But the scholars have noticed. The scholars have noticed.
If I was you, I would pull 5 or 6 of them out right now. Do you have another error?
I want to nail this one down because Adnan, do you know what Memoriyah is?
Is this the best you can come out with?
It's one of the best.
Really?
Yeah. You can't answer it.
You guys are desperate now. You guys are very desperate. You know God exists. You don't like that fact. You know God exists. You know people of religion have argued successfully. You know you look stupid now. You look stupid now. All you can do is, out of desperation, you will come and make claims against Islam falsely. Okay? Now, so you have nothing else now. Islam is false. Okay. So what?
It's about this. Wait. We're going to move. I want to move the discussion down now.
Yes.
Let's get in depth. Let's get in depth. What Memoriyah is the word, the Arabic word for the process by which scholars have devised a scheme, a procedure for redividing the wealth to fix what the Quran says. Isn't that true? No. What is Memoriyah then? Please tell the crowd what is Memoriyah.
I don't know.
Oh. So he's saying that I do not know what the details, what the advanced understanding of Islamic inheritance law is.
You clearly read about it. Where did you read it?
I've spoken to this with Muhammad Hijab, and he spoke to me in depth about what Memoriyah was. And I can perform Memoriyah in this case.
How did Muhammad Hijab explain this to you in decimals?
In fractions.
Let's see this man's
in fractions.
Let us see his dishonesty. He's having this discussion. Wait. Now I know what's happening. He's had this discussion with Muslims before. He has been explained. Wait. What? How did? Wait. James, I know it's tough. I know. James, can you explain to me how did Muhammad?
I'll ask for help from Muhammad Hijab. He's doing better than you.
No. Can you explain how he explained it?
Yeah. So, in cases where the Quran tells you to divide up a person's inheritance, and it tells you to divide up the inheritance such that the shares of the inheritance add up to more than one, and are therefore impossible to divide in the designated fractions, scholars came up with a workaround, a fix, a patch, you could say, called Numerical, which is they add up all the sums that add up to more than 1, and then they take the reciprocal of that, and they multiply each share by the reciprocal in order to reduce them all proportionately so that it adds up to more than 1.
So you know the answer?
Yes,
So you know the
but that
answer?
isn't in the Quran.
God.
That is false.
Okay.
That is not in the Quran.
Okay, wait.
That is an error which scholars had to fix later on.
Okay, good.
Do you understand?
Good.
Definition of false.
And you couldn't tell me that. I asked you so many times
know, a
and you
lot of
couldn't
things
tell me that.
Muslims do.
I asked you so many times and you just skittered. You ran away. You went here and there and you couldn't answer it.
Oh,
and
I'm crying now.
Yeah.
I cry, baby, now.
No, I'm sad.
James, come on.
The audience.
People are getting bored now. Okay.
For you.
Can we-
Because I just wanted a straight answer.
Okay, I don't have a straight answer. I don't have a straight
Then
answer.
go away.
Okay. Now,
You're
Islam
not
is false.
good. You're bad at
Islam
this.
is false.
Yeah, there are better
thank
people
you.
who could do this
Thank you,
instead of
James.
you.
Thank you. Everyone could see how stupid you are to claim things about Islam, and then not know about them.
No,
and
I do know about
I asked
them.
you about 3. I asked you about 5 names of commentaries. You only gave me 2. That means you are absolutely ignorant about Islamic sources. How can you come and claim here that you know about Islamic sources? Standing here like a scholar. Come on. You should have some shame. Rob, if I read one book on evolution, what would you say to me? If I was to stand and say, evolution is false, I have read one book on it. What would you say?
I would say that's a good step.
Yes, thank you.
Stop shouting at me.
Okay.
That doesn't make anything any
all
better.
right.
I'm not
shout like-
Rob,
shout like
I
you-
just don't like the hypocrisy. I'm allergic. I start
is there
sneezing
anyone
when
in
there's
the crowd
there's hypocrisy around me.
about
Bunch of hypocrites you guys are. Seriously, you guys are a bunch of hypocrites. No. There is no error. He just explained. He knows the answer. The point is, you guys know our answers, but you keep coming back and you keep posing same questions as if you're making a point. Brownie
Why are
points.
you worried about him?
Have an
Shout,
answer,
just make a
Adnan.
phone now. If you don't like it,
Yes. So now, James. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Let's assume. Fine. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? Okay. The point is now, you could not give me a. Yeah.
Sorry, man. Do you know what he's trying to tell you? Let me explain to you. Hold on, before you talk over me like you've been talking over him for the last, I think, hour now.
I've given
What
him a
is?
lot of chances
Just hold
to
on
be
a second.
fair.
Can I have like 1 minute?
Okay, but I have given
Is that
him a
right?
lot
1
of
minute?
chances.
Is 1 minute all right? Let me explain to you. 1 minute, yeah. Okay, so I'll just talk to my camera and to the crowd, yeah. The fact of the matter is, you've gone over. Hold on a second, Adnan. Hold on a second. What he's trying to tell you. It sounds like you're worried. I haven't even said anything yet.
Okay, go on.
Is that right? Yeah. What he's trying to tell you.
Other people can hear, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure they can hear me. Don't worry. Your voice is breaking though. Listen, the fact of the matter is, what he's trying to tell you is you've gone over how many tafsir?
On this,
How many tafsir?
like, I went onto a website and I looked through all of them, but some of them.
Yes, I know, but how many tafsir?
Like, on this thing too.
Could you just let me know how many tafsir? I'm just asking. 2 tafsir. Do you know how many tafsirs exist?
But they agree with
Do you
me.
know how many tafsirs exist? The two tafsir exist with you. The 2 tafsir. How long did you study these for?
Not that
Is
long.
the question confusing? Not that long.
Not that long.
Hold on. Sorry.
On this
How long?
issue, not
How long?
long.
And
Yeah.
these hypocrites
On
laugh
this
at us
issue.
How
when
long?
they say evolution is false. And if someone will say,
Probably
I've only read
like
1 or
half
2
an
books,
hour.
they laugh at you.
Adnan, he answered, ladies and gentlemen, he answered that he studied 2 tafsir. 2 tafsir. And for you who do not know, there are many tafsir. And he
And the
studied
ones-
them for
the ones he studied-
half an hour.
Yes.
Half an hour.
Half an hour.
So now, I ask you, who looks like a clown here?
Is that the best you can do?
That is the best I can do. That is the best I can do. Enjoy yourself.
And I think that will be nicely done.
On the
I think that's done, my friend.
No, it's not.
Bye-bye.
Come back next
Okay.
week.
Islam.
Comedy corner.
Therefore, Islam is not false.
Weak.
Because he couldn't define masturbation.
Okay, so like what on the issue of the last thing that I don't know his name asked was
This is a knockdown argument.
the last thing that he asked was how many tafsir have I read? Okay, and indeed, like I read 2 in detail, and I went onto a website which compares tafsir, and all the tafsir for these verses say the same thing. They just paraphrase what is written in the Quran. But the Quran says in clear detail what the shares of the inheritance are meant to be, and clearly in this circumstance they don't add up to 1, and they produce an impossible result which is logically incoherent and false. And so, you know, I challenged them very specifically. I told them what the shares added up to according to the Quran, and then I asked them, if I am wrong, then tell me what the shares should actually be. And they didn't do that. I asked them so many times, and all they did was, oh, well, how many tafsirs have you read? Oh, well, what about in the case where there's five husbands and 2 wives? And they never answered the question. No, it's because they do know, and they know that what I'm saying is correct. Yeah, the scholars, that's exactly it. The scholars have corrected the Quran. Okay, so did everyone get to that point about how Islamic inheritance law is mathematically incorrect?
Correct, yes.
Did anyone not catch that argument?
No, we don't. It's clear.
Okay, we'll move on to a new topic then. Okay.